Hi everyone! So today I'm here to share with you the books that I have planned out here for this month here in February. So this is kind of my tentative TBR and or plan. I would not doing the dice rolling deciding my TBR like I did last month. That is on temporary hold for the time being. One, until I find a better way to film that, hopefully. And two, because I am doing this massive reading challenge over the next 4 months. It's a good versus evil superhero style challenge, and it is almost overwhelming, but actually very exciting. It's on Goodreads. I'll leave the link down below so you can check it out. But there's several challenges all wrapped into one ultimate team challenge. So you can be on Team Good, Team Evil, or you can be a citizen and still participate as well. But there are several challenges within those. They are doing group is doing anything from their book of the months to they are doing a Buffy the Vampire style challenge. They are doing a Walking Dead style challenge. They are doing all your Marvel and DC challenges. They are doing Disney heroes. There's several different parts to this. So I'm really excited for this, to have some fun with it, to see where it's gonna go. And because there are so many different parts, I'm not really doing a major specific TBR. I do have some books here that are I'd like to read more than others, but a lot will depend on how they fit into the challenge. I'm also not sharing any of the ebooks that I possibly might read, just because I don't have a way of really showing those to you. So those you'll just have to see at the end when I do my wrap up. But what I plan to do, the first thing is that I have coming up is a manga readathon. It's a manga love readathon that is being hosted by Geeks Out. I will leave her link down below to the readathon. There's no specific challenges to it. The only thing is to read manga with strong themes of love throughout them, of whatever that means to you. So it is for a full 24 hours. You don't have to read for it, just read what you can. So I don't know how much I'm going to be reading, but I have a few series here I want to check out. The primary one I want to make sure I'm getting into here is Skip Beat here. This is the one I'll be picking up. I have 37, 38, and 39 in my possession from the library right now. So I want to get through those 3 at least of that series. That is probably my number 1 thing to do. After that, I have the Wild Ones here. And this is by Kiyo Fujiwara. And I'm sorry, I forgot Skip Beat here. That is by Yoshiki Nakamura. This is one of my favorite series if you haven't read this, guys. Really check it out. It has everything from romance to comedy to some great drama. This one, now that we're back to it, I'm halfway through right now. It's a 10-volume series, and I have the last 5 that I can read. And the whole thing's about this girl who is now an orphan living with her grandfather, who happens to be in charge of a Yakuza gang. And her bodyguard that she's been assigned to her is where the romance is going to be between those two. It's kind of a forbidden love because he is considered to be, to protect her and to work for her and her grandfather, and he owes them so much, yet he likes the granddaughter. So we'll see how that goes. Next up here is Sand Chronicles. This is a series that I started years ago when it was being published in the Shoujo Beat magazine before they canceled it. Unfortunately, I never got to finish all those. 1, with the magazine stopping, and 2, because I fell behind and was just collecting them, and then the container I was collecting them in got some water damage in it, and there went all the magazines. So, restarting these over, I have the first 5 volumes here. This, by the way, is by Hinako Ashihara, if I'm saying that right. And it starts off as it was, I believe, some kind of a getaway, I believe is how they met. I don't honestly know much about this, so I'm kind of working from scratch on this again. The next one I have, it's tagged as romance. It shows on Goodreads and on my anime list as being considered a romance. I'm not really sure I consider one, so it's very lightly so, but since it is, I'm going to go with it. It's a series I've been enjoying and I want to hopefully finish sometime, and that is Fruits Basket here. I'm on volume 4 now. It's by Natsuki Nakaya. I can't get anything said right today. That's nothing new with me, though, as many of you may know already. So this one is, if you haven't seen it in past videos, about this girl who, again, it's another orphan story, but she is living on her own, literally in a tent in the first book, and comes across the Soma family house, one of the Soma family places, and meets a couple of their members and befriends them. And as she gets to know them, she learns there's a curse on on some of their family that centers around the whole theme of the zodiac. So it's a bit of a comedy, some drama. There is some romantic hints to this so far, but nothing concrete. So maybe it gets more romantic as the series goes along. The next one I have is Boys Over Flowers. It's by Yoko Kamio. Now this is one I've started, but I've not actually finished the manga series. I don't even have all of it, sadly, just yet. I think I'm missing just a few volumes, though. I have 32, I think, of them now, 33. I think there's like 35 or something. So I'm close to owning them all. Anyways, this is really, really cute, where this girl who basically gets the opportunity to attend a very prestigious school, and she's not. She is actually on the more poor side of things, probably, and more down to earth, and she meets the elite of the elite at the school, known as the Flowers Four, and they're not exactly the nice. Most of them, except for one, are not exactly the nicest people. Their leader is actually pretty bad, pretty rotten in a lot of ways, but he takes a strange liking to her, and she takes a strange liking to one of the other guys, and then there's a couple friends in between all this. So I have seen the anime. I have seen the Korean version of the live action, which I absolutely love. It's one of my all-time favorite TV shows ever to watch. So I want to really get back and actually finish the actual manga that started it all and see where some of the differences might lie, if there are any. The last thing I have, since those are all series, and I don't know how far I'm going to do any of those are my options. I have 3 quick yaoi here to read. These are just single shot volumes. There's Glass Sky, and that's by Yuji Yamada here. This is actually, I guess, a bunch of short stories. These two, I honestly don't know anything about what's in these. I just grabbed these on a whim, so I haven't read the back, so we'll see what they're about. But there's Hot Limit, and that's by Akira Kanabe and Minoru Shima. And the other one is Jazz here, and that is by Tomatsu Takamura and Sakai Maeda. I honestly don't even know what these are about. So I just grabbed them thinking if I just wanted a complete short break from any kind of series or ongoing, just say I finished something completely. That's what those are for. So those are the manga that I have planned out for the month. Or honestly, most of my manga read will probably be in one day apparently, and I might read some others, either continuing these or something else later. So now on to books. I have 3 books here. One second. Sorry. That I'm currently working on. These I started last month, and that is Stephen King's It. I'm, I believe, 204 on page 248 right now of that one. So I'm hoping to make some more progress in that, but we'll see how that goes. I'm just going to take my time with that one. It's a big book, and it's actually a lot just to actually physically hold. It's heavy and just to look down on it, and this is actually a very small print on this one. So I'm kind of taking my time with that one, and I know it's not really going to easily fit into my challenges because I previously said it before the challenge began, and that would take a lot of my time to read that one. This is another one, kind of a similar boat. I previously started it, so I may not read this as a main pace priority, but I am enjoying both these. So, and that is Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. I'm on 159 there so far. So probably be trying to continue those 2 as well, at least making some progress as time goes on. This is one I just started yesterday, and that is Winter Road by Christina Rienze. So this is just a really short novella length. It's supposed to be kind of a suspense. It's kind of going in a direction I didn't quite expect. I don't think it's going to be as dark as I was hoping. So we'll see how that continues, but it's really short. I'll probably have that done within the next day or so. So other books that are possible, I do only mean possible reads this month, are Neil Schuster and Scythe. This is probably one of the higher, more likely ones I'll be reading because it actually is one of the book of the months for the group, so I get some bonus points if I read that. So that is up on the list. I have To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo. These are by Bella Forrest. The first one here, I'm going to show you just the spines on these because I'm borrowing these from another library, so they have any information on the front. Are these here, and that is A Shade of Novak and A Shade of Kiev. A Shade of Novak is part of the Shade of Vampire series. It's actually book 8. It's a new story arc that's continuing off of. The Shade of Kiev is actually a spin-off series of one of the villains from the series. So it's one that you kind of have an interesting curve in the last 2 books of what you can learn about him. So that is those. Those are romance, bit of action, vampire, and paranormal. Good stuff there. I got the Dorothy Must Die Stories Volume 2, so you can read what happened to the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion and how they changed from what we all know of them from the original stories. This one is actually an arc that I found in a free bin at a thrift store that I just grabbed. So this is not actually my arc, but it's one I grabbed from them. And that is I Have 3 Things to Tell You, My Friend by R.M. D'Amato. This looked interesting, mainly because they went on this whole thing where apparently when you become a senior citizen, you have the choice of basically putting to death or being given a chance at life, where doctors actually get hold of you and basically give you a whole new life, another 160 years to live, which is actually a lot longer than a life even. But you'll get a whole new career, but they assign it to you, and apparently there's something sinister to it if you accept that offer, and I'm not sure what that is yet, so we'll see where that goes. I have here Dark Whispers by Bruce Colville. This is the continuation of the Unicorn Chronicles that I started years ago when I was still young and a child, but it took forever to get book 2 out, and then 3 and 4 have come out since. But I do still want to finish the series to see, what I think of it. Sorry, I put that book down and made the whole camera bounce here. The last books I'm going to show you here, 3 more to show, is Burn What Will Burn, and that is by C.B. McKenzie. This is going to be just a bit of a mystery suspense that I grabbed from the library, so we'll see what I think of that one. I have a fantasy here, because fantasy is actually a strong element for the challenge, and that is by Terry Brooks. This is Wizard at Large. This is part of a series that I am really enjoying. It has some good humor to it and some good fantasy. It's, I don't know, like, somewhere between it's light in some ways for the fantasy, but it's also a type of high fantasy at the same time with the elements that are in that. But it's actually something really easy to read. So, great for all ages. The last one I have is Anne Rice's The Vampire Lestat. I've actually read this many years ago, but don't remember a lot of what's going on in that. So I grabbed that as well for the challenge. And that was actually something another member of the group picked out for me to read. So those are some of the books I have as possibilities. A little bit of everything, I think. And I might grab something else on the shelves. I might read some of these. I might not read any of these. But we'll see where things go, and I will let you know at the end of the month. Let me know what you plan on reading this month. If you have anything you're especially excited for, I'd love to hear about it. And I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.